Hi everyone and welcome to my Game Week 4 transfer plan video. Today we're going to run through my team and the current issues, my transfer plans and my up-to-date watch list. But before we even get into that, I have a huge problem with my team. Now have a look on the team in the screen and tell me if you can spot it. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. It seems like official FPL and the transfer window have come together, they've conspired to mess up my team. Have you spotted the issue? No? Let me tell you some more. So at the start of the season, I started with Mark Guéhi in my team. £4.5 million striker, and he was proposed to be going Sunderland on loan from Chelsea, so I thought he could turn out to be a gem, thinking about things like bench boost. Fast forward a couple of game weeks and Chelsea look like they're about to loan out Jackson to Bayern Munich. I mean, that makes perfect sense. They've got João Pedro, who started incredibly well. They've got Delap, who's an excellent understudy. And they've got about 6,000 midfielders that should be able to play up top if needed. So far, so good, right? Well, Delap decides to get injured. It looks like a bad hamstring injury. We're talking 2 months minimum type of injury. Chelsea, seeing this injury, tried to pull Jackson back from the Munich loan move. Jackson's like, nope, sorry, I'm not coming back. Just a couple of days ago, you didn't want me, you was willing to get rid of me. Now all of a sudden you want me. Nope, I'm not interested. Chelsea all of a sudden start to panic and decide to bring Mark Guéhi back. They realise they're short up front and recalled his loan from Sunderland. So this has left me with 4 Chelsea players in my team, as you can see on the screen. Cucurella, Cole Palmer, João Pedro, and now Mark Guéhi. Now, if I want to make a transfer, it forces me to have to remove one of these. What if I don't want to? What if I wanted to get rid of Watkins this game week? This is the situation. It almost forces my hand to have to make a -4, but we'll talk about transfers in the next section. You would have also felt this pain if you had the Liverpool assets. You might have had, say, Van Dijk, Mohamed Salah, and say either Gakpo or Ekitike. And you had Isaac while he was at Newcastle, albeit I'm not quite sure why you would have him because he's not playing. All of a sudden, Isaac gets added to the Liverpool squad. Now you've got 4 Liverpool players. Same scenario, horrible situation, not great at all. Let's talk transfer plans. I just spoke about my Chelsea situation, so of course, if I'm getting rid of a player, it has to be a Chelsea player. On the chopping block is Cole Palmer. Now, I've taken a huge gamble here. I've kept him in my team where millions of managers sold him in game week 3. And rightly so, they weren't sure how long he's going to be out for. I took the gamble thinking he's going to be fit for Brentford in game week 4. If that materializes, he will not be going nowhere in my team. An opportunity to have Palmer against Brentford and he's low owned is perfect. I'm praying that actually materializes. But if he is injured, he will be leaving the team. And the options, my favorite one is Reinders. 5.7 million, he's gone up a couple of times, but still very cheap for me. 390 minutes in a row for Manchester City in a very attacking position. One of the reasons I didn't start the season with him is because I was worried about Pep and rotation. And you could argue with game week 4 coming and the Champions League arriving back, Pep could start rotating. But I'm going to use the 3 game weeks, 90 minutes as an indicator. He is going to be pivotal to this team and hopefully carries on starting the games. There are other midfielders I like and you're going to see them on the watch list in the next section. Now, by doing Palmer to Reinders frees up a lot of money, which means I can take that money and get rid of someone like Mark Guéhi, who's actually caused me this transfer problem, and swap him for someone like Mateta. What this means now is I can play a 3-4-3. I'm much more versatile. I've got a superior bench, which allows me to start thinking about bench boost. So these are just immediate pros of this -4 here. And when we're talking about Mateta, he's a player I like a lot. Just have a look at the screen here, just a couple of stats to show you why I really like him. First and foremost, look at the upcoming fixtures. Sunderland at home, West Ham away, and Liverpool at home. So 2 of the 3 are perfect. His expected data so far in the 3 games is not bad as well, especially when you consider Crystal Palace have had 3 horrible fixtures. Minutes per attempt is not amazing, 42.7, but that is because they've played 3 difficult fixtures. Expect that to change in the Sunderland and West Ham fixtures. His season predicted data is expected to score 12 goals and 3 assists. Again, that's not too bad for a player that costs 7.5 million. And the cherry on the cake is he takes penalties. Now Eza's gone, it's almost certified that no one will interrupt his penalty taking. That tells you why I really like Mateta. Game week 6 with Liverpool at home isn't ideal, but there's two things. I could free hit, which is something I am considering. And the second thing is Crystal Palace's record against Liverpool is actually pretty good. So all in all, I like this double transfer. It's a -4, fixes my Chelsea situation and gets rid of Palmer. The issue if he is still injured. Get in the comments and let me know what you think about these proposed moves. The second option I was thinking about is also a -4, and that still includes Palmer in the equation. Of course, if he's injured, he's leaving. Palmer for Dewsbury Hall, who is super cheap. Seems like he's got that role in the number 10 position for Everton, and at times he might move deeper, but it doesn't matter. At that price, he's 5 million. A super enabler. Everton have shown, I mean, the game week 1 was quite scary. Everyone was a bit worried for David Moyes' team. Game week 2 and 3, they've shown some quality, and he's been involved. One of the main reasons I've considered him is for the second part of the transfer, and that is Ollie Watkins, who's been very poor. We all have to admit, the fixtures are gorgeous. We don't want to get rid of him. I'm quite reluctant to do this move, because it means a big structural change here. But Ollie Watkins to Erling Haaland, I mean, you cannot get a better forward in the game. The man who's predicted to score the most goals this season. He's the Golden Boot favourite. Now, I know I do not need to explain to you about Erling Haaland. We know he's elite and whatnot, but I did put a little graphic up just so you can see why I'm considering him. Fixtures, Manchester United, Arsenal and Burnley. Not ideal. I mean, Man United's decent. Burnley's gorgeous. A lot of people will be thinking about triple captaining him. His expected data so far this season is on point. I mean, his goals is always going to look good and his assists never look good. This guy don't pass to no one. Minutes per attempt. Look at the difference between Mateta and him. This guy, every 20 minutes, he's having a shot on goal. Like minimum. So you know the probability of him getting those returns are lovely. Season predicted data, like I said. 21 goals and 4 assists. Incredible. I mean, we shouldn't be shocked by this. And yes, he takes penalties like we already know. We shouldn't be shocked by any of this because he costs so much money. But with me removing Palmer and going for a bargain basement midfielder and removing Watkins, it allows me to change the structure of my team, and I'd have the 2 best players in the game, which is Erling Haaland and Mohamed Salah. Captaincy shouldn't be an issue every week. That's quite nice. I get to tick that off. And I think the strategy is viable as long as the cheap midfielders keep delivering. And of course, the third option, and that is for me to do no transfers. If Palmer is fit, there is a big possibility I leave the team as is, pick the best captain possible, and just go into game week 5 with 2 free transfers. So that's a big possibility as well. What do you think of option number 2, the Haaland transfer route? Get in the comments and let me know. Before we look at the watch list, do me a favor. If you're enjoying the content, please like the video. Also subscribe to the channel where hopefully you will enjoy much more future content. Right, back to the watch list, and we're going to start with the forwards. 2 of these guys I've already discussed in today's video, so of course if they're in my watch list, I will be considering them coming into my transfers. It's like, makes sense. Haaland and Mateta, I'm not going to talk about them too much. The third striker I really like is Gyökeres. Loads of managers went there last game week. I thought the fixture wasn't great against Liverpool, so I'm glad I avoided him, but he's 100% an option. By game week 7, he will be super popular for 2 reasons. By then, I think he'll be fit and adjusted to the Premier League. He still doesn't look that sharp at the moment. I think a lot of Arsenal fans will tell you he still needs a couple of more games to get himself like Premier League ready. The second reason is Arsenal's fixtures changed. They look gorgeous. And then add things like penalties. Arsenal being one of the best teams in Europe, they're going to create lots of chances. And if you feed this guy, he's going to put them in the back of the net. So I really like him as an option. A little bit more money than Mateta, but of course, much cheaper than Haaland. Midfielders is where it's happening. If I'm looking to sell Palmer, there isn't many other expensive midfielders to look at. Saka's injured, Son's gone, I already own Bruno Fernandes, Cunha's potentially injured, and in Bumo, I'm not sure I'll double up on the Man United midfield. So then I look at the cheaper midfielders, and there's so many. Already spoken about Reinders, I love him as an option. Spoke about Dewsbury Hall, now I've got Enzo. Yes, Enzo, I don't mind him as an option, and if I get rid of Palmer, I still like Chelsea's fixtures. I wouldn't mind still being tripled up, and he is definitely a potential option. Semenyo, gorgeous option. Loads went there last week and they were frustrated, but if you watch the performance, you shouldn't be frustrated. He should have got at least 1 goal. Bournemouth dismantled Tottenham Tottenham after beating City, so no one expected that. And he was the star performer. Frustrating when you don't get returns and you hear stuff like that, but you leave someone like that in your team and you know the returns will come. And there's just so much more other midfielders, which I'll talk about in other videos. And lastly, the defenders. This is the same as last transfer plan video because they're the 3 defenders I really like. I don't think I need to change it. Gabriel, outstanding. Arsenal's defense is ridiculously good. You saw they were going to keep a clean sheet against Liverpool. It's only for that incredible wonder free kick by Szoboszlai. And the reason I'm mentioning that is they can keep a clean sheet against anyone. Liverpool by far the best attack in the Premier League. And they were going to keep a clean sheet and quite comfortably, if I'm honest with you. Munoz, so attacking. Crystal Palace have really impressed me. Considering the fixtures were difficult to start with, they've lost some key players. And that Glasner is still performing miracles. They've kept Mark Gahey, not Gooey, the one that's causing problems in my team. Mark Gahey, he's still in the team and he's the captain. And the captain is a pivotal player for them. So that tells me they've still got some stability at the back where they can build from. And he is a pivotal player. And lastly, Pedro Porro. The reason is Spurs fixtures are still excellent. I already own Van der Ven, but I wouldn't mind getting a Porro in my team for the potential attacking returns. Probably not a long-term hold, but at least for the next 6 game weeks or until I wildcard. So I still like him as well. There's some other cheap gems which I'll mention in another video. But for now, these are the defenders I really like. I haven't got a graphic for goalkeepers, but I am keeping an eye on Raya because there is a possibility I double up on the Arsenal defense. From game week 7, their fixtures change and sales could become Raya. It's not ideal to use a transfer and a goalkeeper. I know this, but who knows? I might even wildcard by then. And if I do, I will readjust that and have a double Arsenal defense. So this is how my team would look for game week 4 if I made no transfers. I'll have Sales in goal against Arsenal. Not ideal, so I'm starting in a bad place immediately. The back 3 would be Van der Ven against West Ham, Cucurella against Brentford, and Anderson. The back 3 is not too bad. I'm all right with that. The midfield 5, Mohamed Salah against Burnley, gorgeous fixture. Palmer, who's still currently injured, so let's see if we get the right information and hoping that he's fit. Rodgers against Everton, Bruno Fernandes and Anderson against Arsenal. As I said, some parts of the team don't look that good. Up top, I've got João Pedro, who's a man that's flying. I'm so glad I bought him in last game week. To me, at the moment, he looks a must-own. And Watkins, who's been flopping. 3 game weeks, Aston Villa haven't even scored a goal. And I own 2 of their attackers. Can that change this weekend? Well, let's hope so. So this would be the team if I don't make no transfers. It all depends on the information when we get the press conferences. So I will be listening to the press conferences and getting that information. If you don't have the time to listen to them, feel free to follow me on X where I'll be tweeting that information. Or tune into the deadline stream while I'll have all of that ready for you. Saves you having to go and trying to find out. I'll have all that information ready for you. I hope you enjoyed the video, but more importantly, I hope you found the video useful. Get in the comments and let me know what transfers you're making for game week 4. Also, do you have the same problem as I have with the 4 Chelsea players? I mean, what a nightmare. Let me know if you have that issue as well. And lastly, before you jump off to watch your next video, do me a favor, like and subscribe, get the notifications on, then you will know when I've got deadline streams and other videos coming out. I'd really appreciate that. So last thing for me to say is I wish you good luck and see you on my next video.